So after escaping the Dead Man's Vlay, the hero, Tende, and his two siblings, Rita and Kuda, are accompanied by Trash Man, and they end up finding a gate. This gate is to Rest Haven. Trash Man knocks on the gate and is granted entry. The people are leery of the children as they do not allow outsiders in all that easily. Rest Haven is a sacred place that has been untouched by the advance of technology and the passage of time. Everything in Rest Haven is done as has been done for centuries. The citizens of Rest Haven are very cautious with anyone entering from the outside world. Many times the newcomers are accused of witchcraft and are exiled or are killed. Because they arrived with Trash Man, who is accepted in Rest Haven already, the children were given a chance. They were not completely trusted or integrated, but they were allowed to learn the ways of Rest Haven. Over time, the children learn what Rest Haven is all about. By being boys, Tende and Kuda are treated very well. Rita, however, is not treated so well. As a girl, she is expected to be servant to the boys and do many of the chores around Rest Haven. Tende and Kuda enjoy it in Rest Haven. However, as Tende understands what Rita is going through over time, he has to decide to stay or try to help them escape. He chooses to try to end his sister's suffering and make an escape. They cannot do it alone, though, as they have become accepted by Rest Haven at this point. They would not be allowed to leave of their own free will. They meet Mayanda, the tribe leader's first wife, who is willing to help them return to their parents. During a ceremony of birth, it becomes known that the tribe leader and his second wife have had twins. In Rest Haven, twins are seen as a sign of evil and witchcraft. The village concludes that there must be a witch amongst them, and they have their version of a witch hunt. This is a ceremony where individuals are selected to consume a foul dish. If the dish is vomited back up, the person is not considered a witch. However, if the dish is not expelled, it must only be able to be stomached through witchcraft, and this person will be accused of being a witch. The children learn that their dish will likely not be as awful as the rest of the villagers as they search for a scapegoat. As such, they will likely not vomit it out. Mayanda, who is helping them, gives them a pouch of chicken droppings to consume after the dish that will force them to vomit it back out. The ceremony proceeds and all the children vomit out the dish. Mayanda uses all of her power to hold it in, and the ire of the village is placed squarely on her. Even though they are not seen as witches, the children are forced to leave Rest Haven, which is exactly what they wanted anyway. Once they leave Rest Haven, the children are left to simply wander around without really knowing where they are. Trash Man still accompanies them and stays by their side. Tende recalls that the Mellower's mother lives somewhere in the area. They manage to find her, and she takes them in. However, she's not as benevolent as she appears. She uses the children for chores and work around the house. Tende discovers that she has a plan to have the Mellower convince the general to offer a reward for the return of the children, something which he has outlawed for every other case of kidnapping. Every time Tende thinks they escape and reach safety, something happens to change that. Again, Tende and the children hatch a plan to escape their predicament. They are just about to confront the Mellower's mother in front of all of her house guests when suddenly there is a commotion and a group bursts in through the gate. It is the she-elephant and her lackeys looking to steal the children back. The she-elephant succeeds and recaptures the children. However, instead of going back to Dead Man's Vlay, she takes them somewhere else. She takes them to sell them. Here, the children go on their final adventure. The she-elephant takes them and is going to sell them to a gang that has contacted the spirits. Normally, the she-elephant sells children to people who will purchase them and treat them well. She realizes that the gang wants to sacrifice the children and tries to have a change of heart, but has gotten them in too deep. It is at this point that the ear, the eye, and the arm are finally able to catch back up to the children. Up until now, they had always been a step behind. The gang, the masks, want to sacrifice Tende. They strap him to a chair and are preparing to sacrifice him. It's at this point that Tende has his inner dialogue and decides he must become a hero not only to himself, but his brother and sister as well. He recites a war chant that the Mellower taught him when he was younger. I am one for whom dangers are playthings, one who empties men of their strength as a nut from its shell. The charms you use I'd chop up for relish on my porridge. Beware, I am a deadly mamba, wrestler of leopards, a hive of hornets, a man among men. Remembering this gives him the strength to face the supreme ordeal that is rapidly approaching. Suddenly, the arm falls, seemingly from the sky, and distracts all the masks, interrupting their sacrifice. All is quiet, but the spirit of the Mondoro is within arm. The Mondoro is the spirit of the land, a righteous, good spirit that is protective of all things good. There's a spiritual battle between the Mondoro and the presence within the masks. Abruptly, the arm falls and has lost the battle. All is not lost, though, as Tende seizes the sword and channels everything he has through his Endoro. The Mondoro then enters Tende. "You're a little young for a spirit medium, but you'll have to do," said a voice inside him. "Please," stammered Tende, "who are you?" "The Mondoro, my young warrior." "Aha, I recognize this Endoro. It was worn by Monomatapa himself. It feels to get good inside it again." Tende was filled with wonder. The Mondoro, and it chose him! He was so filled with awe, he almost forgot the desperate situation he was in, but the tribal spirit soon woke him up. Another spiritual battle ensues, but this time Tende and the Mondoro are victorious. The she-elephant leaps into action, destroying the masks. Once Tende has won the battle, saving himself and his siblings, the Mondoro departs him. After the great battle, Tende has defeated the masks. The masks were the last surviving gang, and now Mezo would be safe from them thanks to Tende's heroics. Tende learns the values of good and hope. He studies medicine and spends time with the lion spirit medium. Tende thought about Rest Haven and how, when the world stumbles again, Mondoro would return to show them the way back to goodness.